Good evening, and welcome to the Carmichael's Area Middle School and High School Band Concert. This evening, before we get started, we just had a little mishap here on stage, I think. If you have a cell phone, could you silence it, please, while we're playing? It's very distracting to the students. This evening, we're very excited to play for you. We have a variety of music that the students have prepared. And as we go through the night, I'll talk a little bit about some of the things that they've been learning and give you some guidance on some things to listen for. But I'm pretty excited, and I don't want to talk a lot. I want you to sit back and listen to what they've been doing the last 3 months. And hopefully you have a good time tonight with us. First up today, it's springtime, sports season, baseball, softball, all the fun things. And the first piece of this 6th grade band sitting before you, with we do have a couple of 8th grade tutor/helpers that are playing with us today as well. This is a piece called Batter Up. Batter Up is a Sandlot symphony for beginning band with a very special guest narrator. I'm going to give you a little bit of a program information here about this. It says it's the final inning of the ball game, and the hometown team is behind 3-0, facing the final out. With each batter at bat, the excitement rises as the final pitch is thrown, with bases loaded. Tonight we will capture the excitement of the American pastime featuring our own local celebrity in our middle school as the voice of our hometown team. Our special celebrity this evening is our principal, Mr. Poland. He's going to join us here in a second. And so please sit back and relax, and I hope you can follow along the progress of the game in Batter Up.
Good afternoon, baseball fans. We're broadcasting live from the old ballpark where your hometown Batterheads are being beaten like a drum by the visiting Mallets. The Batterheads are down to their last out, trailing 3-0. This is the Mallets pitcher, Bobby Beethoven's 9th inning of work. Stepping up to the plate for the Batterheads is right fielder, Rusty Reeves. Here's the pitch. It's a sharp signal to left, and the runner is on first. Now up, catcher, Buzzin' Bob, the mouthpiece for the Batterheads. Here's the windup. It's a sharp line drive to right. The Batterheads now have runners on first and second with the sweet toned horn man of Elkhorn, Indiana coming up to the plate. Here's the windup. It's a hard shot up the middle for the natural lefty. The bases are loaded for the cleanup hitter, Babe Ruthless, and the Batterheads fans are trilling with excitement. Here's the windup. Beethoven's first pitch was a classic, Steve Ragwam. Beethoven's second, and it's strike 2. Beethoven's third will be heroic if it's a strike.
Poland. Thank you so much. Mr. Poland's new to our district. What, this is your third year? Yes, third year. Before being here, he told me not to talk about this, but just so you know why I thought it was the best choice to have him come in here today. He spent 18 years coaching baseball. He was the head coach of 2 high schools in West Virginia where he lived for that time. So we know him as Mr. Poland, our principal, but there is a backstory there of lots of years of successful baseball coaching. So thank you, Mr. Poland. I also want to recognize, yeah, go ahead, you can clap. Right in the middle of Batter Up, I do want to recognize a young man who played the xylophone back there. Preston Lewicki on the solo for the xylophone. Give him a round of applause, please. Okay, that piece of music actually is a piece of music that's designed for very beginning band, 5th grade band. If you were here with us in December, you know that this particular group of 6th graders are advanced. We went ahead and did that just because it was something fun and something different. The next piece we're going to do for you is called Creepy Crawlies. So as we go through the evening, you're going to see a progression of difficulty and some different unique styles of playing. Creepy Crawlies is a piece of music that is just about that. Anything, any bugs, any worms, spiders, anything that you consider creepy crawly. Hold on one second. Read a little note here for you. Whether you love them or hate them, they're everywhere. And we're talking about bugs today. At some point, and I know we were talking earlier, you open your door this time of year and a fly gets into your house and you can't quite get rid of it. We have one of those here today on stage. We've had him all week, actually. So hopefully he shows up tonight because we've got a little something special for him. So here's Creepy Crawlies. That was young Mr. Poland who was killing the fly, so thank you, Daniel, for that. Next piece is in the style of the 1960s, and I'm just going to read a little bit from the program notes. When I read these are coming directly from the composer. When they write music for different ensembles, they give you guidance as to some of the things that they might have been thinking and some of the suggestions they have for performance. So here's just a little bit. This piece is called Groovy 8. He's by a composer that I really like. His name's Randall Sandridge, and he'll come back a little bit later in this. Groovy 8 is a work for developing musicians written in the mood style of the late 60s and early 70s. Okay? Its intention is to evoke carefree feelings and fashion toward the movement of the 60s and the 70s. Music was never intended to be stationary. This composer talks about how if you feel like the music makes you want to dance, then you should dance. This one, many of you might know the movie Austin Powers. It kind of fits in that style of that 60s. So here's Groovy 8. On stage, before we switch over things here, so what's going to happen here as we go through the night? It's just a natural progression, obviously, to get from where you are in 6th grade to where you might be as a 12th grade band member. And tonight I'm going to show you a little bit about what that crossover looks like. So the next piece we're going to play is actually going to be a joint piece between the 6th grade band and the 7th and 8th grade band are going to join us as well. Before we do that, I want to thank Payson, Delaney, Sienna, Brody, Eli, Lila. Those are our 8th graders who sat in this last week and played along with us just to give us a little bit more sound. So thank you guys. All right. Okay, this is the transition piece for the 6th grade, who really could have played this by themselves. Honestly, they learned it within maybe a week and a half, at least the framework of it. But we invited the 7th and 8th grade along because it's a little bit of a challenge. We focus on dynamics. Dynamics in music refer to louds and softs. So the control that we have on our instruments, whether it's through breathing or articulation, how we start the sound, we are developing skills on how to play loud and soft within a piece of music. It gives it a little bit more variety and interest. So Furioso is the next piece we're going to play. And this one is exactly what it might sound like, furious. And Furioso is a musical term that indicates that the music is to be played with vigor and passion. One of the things I really liked about this piece when I listened to it is that at some point you're not going to know, if we pull it off the right way, which we have been, you're not going to know what to listen for. There are 4 different musical ideas that are introduced, and they just keep layering and layering and layering, and then they pass it around the band. Sometimes some of the sections have the layers, 2 different layers throughout the piece. So this is a fun one. Really proud of the 6th graders for jumping up here and being able to play this. This is Furioso. you now sits the 7th and 8th grade band. We've been working together since the beginning of the year. Some of these 8th graders actually were a part of the marching band with the high school kids. So this group especially is really all about transitioning them and preparing them for the high school level music. And I did really challenge them this spring. And it may look like it's not a lot whenever you look at a program and it says, oh, they only play 3 pieces of music. But I promise you the next 2, these guys are going to play. If you know anything about music, you know that this is where we get to the point of, you know, we survive or sink or swim or whatever you want to say. And these guys are definitely swimming. So the first piece we're going to do is a traditional medley of marches. It's called March on America, and it features snippets of your grand old flag, national emblem, and Stars and Stripes Forever. And I always like to choose patriotic music just as something traditional to use on a concert. Plus, these guys, as they go through high school, we do a Veterans Day program every year where we get to the beginning of November, we're at the end of football season, and the high school kids are handed 5 different marches they have to learn. So it's good practice to play in that style. That's it. Here's March on America. problem, sorry, a great problem to have is that our stage isn't big enough to fit everybody. I would love to have this every single day in class, but it's funny if you can see what's going on in the back. They're fighting over how to get in and get to their seats. And they're actually really good friends. I'm surprised they're not hitting each other. And we're still squeezing. Well, while they're still getting situated, this next piece, the high school kids had asked if they could play music from Pirates of the Caribbean. Last year we went to Florida, we picked some Disney music that we programmed on the concert, and they wanted to find something again this year. They really enjoyed it. I listened to different versions of Pirates of the Caribbean, and it was either very dark and dreary, too hard, like collegiate level music, or it was so easy that it was more for elementary band. So I found a different piece that we had played a few years ago in a county band. And this piece is called Pieces of Eight, and it is very much in the same style of that swashbuckling Pirates of the Caribbean sound. Really cool. I'm very excited to have everybody up here on stage today. Lots of dynamic work this year, lots of articulations, and just being able to play in the style that has lots of fast-moving notes. They've really done well with this. So before we get started, I'm going to let the high school kids kind of play their instruments a little bit to get warmed up, and then we'll give it a go. So here's Pieces of Eight. for that. Sorry. Thank you so much. 7th and 8th grade are going to now exit and transition for the last time. For the last 3 pieces, we'll be featuring our high school band up here today. First piece is a concert march called Emblem of Unity. Thank you. That was the challenge. Piccolos are so happy that that one's over. Yes? And we had a celebration in the back because Grace, what'd you get, Grace? What was it? Just nailed it. Just nailed it. She was like, yes, in the back. So, hey, celebrations all over the place. Next piece, as we're transitioning to the percussion back there, is called Korean Folk Rhapsody. This piece is based on a Korean folk song called Ari Rong. And a rhapsody in music is a composition that should feel free-flowing and is highly emotional. You'll hear one melodic idea, which is the melody of this Korean folk song, and it is developed throughout. It's not a very long piece, but we changed keys, and it should give you just a little bit of, it should feel very flowing, as it says, and very pleasing. It's very pretty right in the middle of it. So here is Korean Folk Rhapsody. Sorry, I thought I misplaced something very important. Before we play our last piece, I do always like to take the time to recognize our soon-to-be graduates. We have 5 in the band today, and if you would, when I say your name, please stand, and then hold your applause till the end. I'm really going to miss this group of kids. Variety of personalities that have just made things very exciting over the last couple of years. So I will miss you. Here we go. Jaden Brumfield, Sydney Parker, Grace Maskell in the back on trumpet, Faith Willis, and Danny Hetrick. Okay. Thank you. All right. This last piece is a piece called Choose Joy, and if you bear with me for a minute, I was torn between whether or not I wanted to share all of this information with you, but I was told by somebody that this is probably a good idea to do this so you get the picture of what this piece is about. I found this piece of music in late October when I was looking for music for a Christmas concert, and I listened to it because of the title, Choose Joy. This gentleman, Randall Standridge, who I referred to earlier in the evening, is a composer that I've used several years with different pieces of music. I really, really enjoy his writing. So when you are a composer, there are different groups, different high schools, different like inaugural balls and things like that, that people will go to composers and say, hey, write me a piece of music for this event or whatever. And it's very common for composers to write for high school groups. So we read this a long time ago, so just bear with me. It isn't too lengthy, but it's really important that you hear this tonight. Okay, so commissions can take many forms. These are his words, not mine. I have written pieces that celebrate special occasions. I have written works that tackle serious issues. I have created commissioned pieces that commemorate historical events, and I have written commissions that encouraged me to just play around and use my imagination. I have also written too many that are memorial works. Each piece of this type is a reminder to me, and I hope to the audience and performer, that time is our greatest gift and most valuable asset, and we are always spending it whether we intend to or not. When we ask someone for their hand in marriage, we are asking for and offering our most treasured possession, our time and our lives. When we choose a profession, we are agreeing to dedicate our time to this. When we lose someone, we are simultaneously grateful for the time we have had with them and grieving for that time, for the time we've had with them and grieving for that time being depleted. We never get time back, ever. In May 2021, I was approached by Joe Glass of Salyards Middle School about a commission. Joe and I have worked together over the years, and it was very important to me that I was able to create this work. Joe asked if I would be interested in a new commission, but the circumstances were somewhat unusual. It is with his permission and the permission of the family involved that I'm sharing these details. This is what you got to hear. He told me about Nicole Crandall, a recent graduate from the high school that Joe's program feeds and his former student. Nicole had been battling level 4 glioblastoma, a very aggressive form of brain cancer. She was then 20 years old and had been moved into hospice care. To celebrate her, they have asked that I create a work in her honor. Illness is the thief of time. In spite of this, Nicole and her family had created a motto that they used to navigate the difficult time: choose joy. I was very moved by this, as I feel too many people waste their time and their lives choosing hate, choosing anger, choosing misery. Do those emotions legitimately exist? Absolutely. But I can safely say for myself that there have been moments where I gave energy to them and fed them instead of shutting them down. Choose joy. I like that. For those of you that may have been touched by cancer, either yourself or a loved one, or any illness, or any loss, I am sure you can agree that we never know how much time we are given on this earth. But life events such as these can put a lot of things in perspective. As you listen this evening, there are a few things I want you to listen for. He says, this piece uses elements of Beethoven's Ode to Joy, along with a 5-note motive. A motive in music is taking these 5 same notes and just developing them over and over and over in different rhythms and in different patterns. Those 5 notes are representing the 5 family members of Nicole's immediate family. A trio is heard near the beginning representing Nicole and her siblings. The parts have been written for the instruments they played in band: flute, clarinet, and saxophone. The work alternates between a rhythmic and joyful intensity and a more nostalgic and bittersweet lyrical moment in the middle. There are moments of happiness, humor, worry, pain, and determination. He says, I hope this work serves as a fitting tribute to all of those who choose joy in times of darkness. And I really am not ending this concert on anything dark and sad. We're choosing joy tonight, so here's Choose Joy. door tonight with something happy. Thank you so much for coming this evening. We'll see you in the fall.